Beginning the list at number 10 is she was a member of the Bloods gang. Rumors started after Cardi dropped her single called Bodak Yellow, where she rapped the phrase, "These is bloody shoes." People started to claim that she had connections with the gang, or she did in the past. But the rapper herself later confirmed it during an interview with GQ. She was part of the gang, in some ways still is, and yes, she regrets ever getting involved. She told her story saying, I quote, "When I was 16 years old, I used to hang out with a lot of agonizing cliff diver bloods. I used to pop off with my homies and they'd say, yo, you really get it poppin', you should come home, you should turn blood. And I did. Yes, I did." She describes it and says it is similar to a fraternity or a sorority. It wasn't about the violence or money for her, but she wants young girls to know that they should not join one. Cardi remained silent about it for so long because she didn't want to lose endorsement deals or have it affect the chances at her getting a big signed contract deal. Now that she has that, she said, "I wouldn't want a young person, a young girl, to think it is okay to join it." Despite it not rooting Cardi's career, once you have that connection to a gang, it never goes away, and it can be incredibly dangerous. Up next, number 9 is she doesn't have a driver's license. She's no problem rapping about expensive cars, and she even owns Lamborghinis and Bentleys of her own, but usually people who drive these sorts of cars have their driver's license because they want to drive them. She is not one of these people. She's openly talked about the fact that she owns 5 wildly expensive cars that she can't even drive. And she proved it to the world during an episode of Carpool Karaoke where she got behind the wheel of James Corden's Range Rover in a parking lot, of course. They had set up cones and flags to try and teach her how to drive through a mini driving course, but she failed miserably. They even had her try to parallel park for the first time, and she ended up backing up over a camera. But James asked her what we are all wondering: why own so many cars if you can't even drive them? She responded by saying, "To take pictures with." Apparently, she couldn't rap about having expensive cars before owning them. She said that she was being an imposter. The reason for not getting her license is also very simple. She said that she's scared. Driving makes her scared. Sliding into number 8 is her body swells when she goes on a plane. Now, it's a pretty common thing for people's feet to swell on airplanes. Basically, all the liquids in your body sink to your feet during the altitude change. But the reason for Cardi's swelling is a bit more serious because it comes to her plastic surgery. In May of this year, Cardi had to cancel some of her shows to properly recover from her plastic surgery. She had some post-pregnancy work done on her breasts and her stomach. But after flying one day, she posted a close-up video that showed her ankles and feet severely swollen. In the video, she said that it was a scary side effect from her recent liposuction and breast augmentation. In the video, she said, "My doctor was like, yo, you cannot be doing all these shows because you're not fully healed. I gotta get better. The way that my body be swelling up when I catch planes and it's scary that I be freaking out." Dr. Shermack explained that even though the surgery was done to her stomach and her breasts, the swelling is all gravitational and it is very common, so Cardi will be just fine. In the number 7 spot is she has a younger sister. For some reason, I just assumed that Cardi didn't have any siblings. I'm not really sure why. I don't think she talks about her that much. I don't know. I was just left in the dark when it came to her having siblings. She has a younger sister named Hennessy. And no, that is not a made up name like Cardi's. Her real name is Hennessy Carolina. Like her older sister, she too is becoming a star, but for a different talent. Hennessy is now a social media star after she started uploading a series of videos about her career as a stripper. Some of them went viral on Instagram and TikTok. The 22-year-old sounds just like Cardi. They share a lot of those crazy sounds and facial expressions and that very interesting slang. When asked how she got her name, she says it came from her dad, who went straight to the delivery room after a party where he had been drinking his favorite, Hennessy. He suggested it as their daughter's new name, and apparently Cardi's mom also really liked it, so they went with it. And at number 6 is, how did Cardi B get her name? We've all wondered this at some point in time. There is no way this girl's real name is Cardi B. Her real birth name is Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar, which was chosen by her parents when she was born in the Bronx. She didn't switch her name until she started to pursue her career as a rapper. Because her sister's name is Hennessy, she says that everyone they grew up with used to call her Bacardi. Hennessy, Bacardi, get it? So when she was growing up in New York, she was known as Bacardi, which she actually liked. That's why she had no hesitation when it came to picking a rapper name. She told Wendy Williams, "Then I shortened it to Cardi B. The B stands for whatever, depending on the day." I personally thought the B stood for Bacardi, but apparently it has meant a number of different things. One of them I won't say because it will just get bleeped out, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Halfway through at number 5 is her first album she bought was Missy Elliott. I've always wondered what famous artists listen to. Like, do they listen to their own songs? Do they have celebrity crushes on other celebrities? And if they're a rapper, does that mean they only listen to rap music? Or do they country, pop? Like, these are actual valid questions that I have. But Cardi was once a regular girl like all of us, and we all have our own taste in music. Growing up, we would buy our favorite CDs, or we would download songs onto an MP3 player. Well, in my generation, anyways. Turns out Cardi's first album was Missy Elliott, and she has been fangirling over her ever since. She has no problem admitting that she looked up to her, and she is what inspired her own music career, which is why she freaked the F out when she finally got to meet her. She met her at the Warner Music Group pre-Grammy party and snapped a picture with her. After posing for the picture, Cardi filmed a video of her screaming, "I met Missy Elliott, I'm a hype." Missy just smiles in the video, and Cardi looks like the happiest person on earth. Like a kid seeing Disneyland for the first time. Moving on to number 4 with she went to college but dropped out. People often make comments to the rapper saying that she isn't educated, but she did actually attend school for some time. She attended Renaissance High School for Musical Theater and Technology, which was a small specialty school on the Herbert H. Lehman campus. Cardi actually loved going to school, and she was bummed when she had to drop out. She has opened up about her past and explained that she once had a dream of being a history teacher, but had to leave school because she couldn't afford it any longer. She just couldn't support herself. But she hasn't given up on getting an education. She recently revealed that she still aims on going back to school. She said, "Maybe when I'm older I'll have time to go to college. Why not? It's never too late to make your dreams come true. Sometimes it's just a matter of juggling things to create the right atmosphere and the perfect conditions." Cardi also admitted that leaving college gave her the time and opportunity to get caught up in music, so maybe it all happened for a reason. Okay, you guys, in the third spot is she got plastic surgery at 19 years old. If there's one thing Cardi doesn't hide, it's all the plastic surgery that she has gotten. She flaunts it, she talks about it, she fully admits it to her fans. She even shared that the first time she ever went under the knife was at 19 years old. During that time of her life, she was working as a stripper, so she felt that it would enhance her career. She got breast implants done and butt injections. She was making enough money from the strip club so that she could fund the surgeries on her own. She actually got illegal injections that were not FDA approved and not administered by a doctor. But she said she was just so desperate for a bigger booty from the pressures of being a stripper. So needless to say, her life at 19 years old was a lot different than the majority of ours. I was working at Tim Hortons trying to pay for my cell phone bill, and she's out here stripping for a boob job. What a world. Here at number 2 we have the fact that she used to work at a grocery store. Cardi wasn't always a rapper, and she wasn't always a stripper. Surely she had a first job like the rest of us, right? She did. She was a cashier at the grocery supermarket, which basically sold all organic stuff. That was her description of it. But she ended up getting fired from her job because she was showing up late too often and was giving her coworkers way too many discounts. It was actually the manager from the supermarket that suggested she become a stripper. Cardi spoke on it and said, "The manager from the Amish marketplace said, 'You're so pretty and you have such a nice body. Why don't you go across the street and work at Private Eyes?'" She explained that she was hesitant at first because she thought strip clubs meant that you had to have sex with people, but when she found out what it was, she decided to go for it. And to her it paid off because in just one day at the strip club she made more than a week's pay at the market. Speaking of stripping, at number 1 is stripping saved her life. It is no secret that she made a living from being an exotic dancer, but she claims that it was a saving grace at that point in her life. She was kicked out of her mom's house, so she moved in with an ex-boyfriend's home where he lived with his sisters and dogs. She revealed that the home was filled with bed bugs and she had horrible asthma due to the 2 pit bulls that he had. His sister would also steal the little bit of money and weed that she had, and she just said that she felt trapped. Even though he was cheating on her and her, she said that she had nowhere to go because she literally couldn't afford it. It was actually stripping that gave her the financial freedom and confidence that she needed to get back on her own 2 feet and move out of that place. From there, she was able to create a life of her own, and that is when she started to get noticed online. So she left the strip club and started hosting club events as an Instagram influencer. Beginning our countdown, number 10 is Cardi B vs Azealia Banks. It all started 2 years ago when Azealia decided to throw some shade on Cardi during one of her interviews. She went as far as calling her, I quote, "an illiterate, untalented rat." She randomly came up in conversation because Azealia was talking about the culture surrounding black women. She said, 2 years ago the conversation surrounding black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high, and we were really like discussing our power amongst ourselves. There was just this really intelligent conversation going on nationally, and then everything just kind of changed, and then it was like Cardi B. From there, it caused this whole big thing on Instagram, and just a few months ago, the two of them started going at it, and Azealia was claiming that Cardi's team was apparently stalking her Instagram page and trying to steal her looks. She started posting online saying that Cardi makes everything look cheap and dirty. Nothing like a good old-fashioned Instagram feud, it is just one of many for our girl Cardi. Next up at number 9 is Cardi B vs. Asia. Some people got to see this fight go down live on the reunion show of Love and Hip Hop New York. It happened back in February 2017 when Cardi attacked her on the show and threw a shoe at her. This seems to be Cardi's go-to move, the whole shoe throwing thing. Apparently the girls had been beefing for a while, and it was a buildup of tension that just basically exploded on the show. To sum it up, Asia had stated many times that she didn't like Cardi, but never said why. Like, the two girls never actually had issues, Asia just didn't like her. So Cardi and the show host kept asking Asia to explain herself, but she wouldn't. Cardi was making claims that she didn't like her because she judged her for being a stripper in her past, but Asia wouldn't say anything. I guess the silence got to her and Cardi went off and threw a shoe at her. You can literally see Cardi like quietly bend down, take off her shoe, and then chuck it at the girl's face. And that is a heel too, so that has to hurt. Like, you could poke someone's eye out with that. Swiping our number 8 spot is Cardi B vs. The Nation. Not gonna lie, I had no idea who these people are, but apparently The Nation is a crew of 10-year-old rappers. Literally. But this feud will depend on whose side of the story you believe. The youngsters posted a diss track against Cardi, saying that she was washed up and belongs in a zoo. They went as far as saying she smells like a turd, because I guess these are the types of insults that 10-year-old rappers use, but they did step up their insult game and said, I quote, "I don't know what's faker, your life or your butt." And one of them actually shoved a pillow down his pants to like start dancing and imitating Cardi. After that, Cardi responded through an Instagram live video and said, "Not gonna let some little effin' white boys come at me all mother effin' long day. Mother effer, shut the F up and stay in your mother effin' place. Go drink your mother effin' milk." Yes, I obviously had to say what I can't say on here, but God, I love her. The group of boys didn't seem bothered by her response. They actually posted a clip of it to their YouTube, which included a link to their Instagram. But some people started calling her a bully afterwards, saying that she was picking on younger kids, and Cardi denies that she was ever even talking about them. She never said their name and said that people just assumed that she was speaking about them when she wasn't. Girl, I know exactly what happened here. You were totally talking about them, but obviously they're 10 and you didn't want to get in trouble. Moving on to number 7, we have Cardi B vs. Travis Scott fans. Leave it up to Cardi to get in some beef with some other celebrity's fan base. But you know what? I do not blame her for this one. I probably would have done the same thing. Earlier this year, Travis premiered his Netflix documentary called Look Mom, I Can Fly, which included a scene of him losing Best Rap Album to Cardi at the Grammys. The documentary showed how upset he was backstage and how he dealt with the loss a few days following the ceremony. Although the rapper was able to get over it, his fans weren't, and they began attacking Cardi, saying that she didn't deserve the win, and also accused her of not writing her own stuff. So Cardi let his fans know what she thought, saying that she even promoted Travis's work Astroworld on her social media and remains friends with him. She said, "Yeah, some grown men talking about dragging Cardi because I won an award for a bomb album. Mind you, I myself promoted Astroworld on my page when it came out and have a good relationship with Trav, while some small men talking about dragging a girl." Keep in mind, this is just one tweet. Girl went off on those Twitter birds, but I would defend my work too, and my win. No one has taken a Grammy from me. In at number 6 is Cardi B vs. Access Hollywood. One thing Cardi is known for is her Instagram live rants. Fans love joining her lives as a way to connect with her, but also because she is usually going off on some crazy rant when she's on them. Not gonna lie, I've joined a few of them and it is always entertaining. When she's not mad, she's just really funny. Just a few months ago, she went on her live to go on a rant after she did some press work with Access Hollywood. She was heated, to say the least, and started off the video with a bunch of terms that I can't even say or they will just get bleeped out, but she stressed the point that she does not play around when it comes to her kid, so we know they did something involving her daughter culture. Apparently during an interview they asked her how things have changed since experiencing motherhood. She went on a long explanation and told them that she can't do as much as she could before, and says that sometimes she will pick spending 5 hours with her daughter over 5 hours in the studio. She made it a point to say, yes, I could hire a babysitter, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want my kid calling someone else mommy, and it is important to spend time with your kids. So, Access Hollywood chopped up her response and titled it with the headline, "Cardi B admits that culture calls someone else mommy due to work." She was so mad in this live video, you guys. She's literally screaming at the camera like as if it's Access Hollywood, and tells them not to twist her words and use her kids as clickbait. Preach, mama. I agree with that. She also said she would never do press for them again, and she said that she was gonna spit on them the next time she sees them. She also said a lot of other like threatening, horrific things that I can't say, so you can go watch the clip on YouTube after this. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Cardi B vs Tekashi. It is no secret that Tekashi spent months in and out of court. It made headlines and quickly turned into a series of memes, because that is just the world that we live in now. But the world was shocked when Tekashi technically snitched while on trial, saying that Cardi B was a part of the same gang as him, the Bloods. Now, I don't know much about gangs, but one thing I do know is that you never snitch on someone, bro. Like, that is against the rules. In court, he was asked if he joined a gang to get ahead in his music career, and that is when he used Cardi B as an example, saying that she was also a member of the gang, and even used some Blood members in one of her music videos. His attorney said he was using Cardi as an example to help his case, and fans thought that roping her into all of that was incredibly wrong and messed up. Cardi B's first response was a hilarious meme though. She continued to deny any of the claims, and for the most part she actually kept her cool on social media. Of course, she stuck up for herself and her side of the story, but she didn't go off on like some big rant, and that is probably because she ain't trying to get involved with all that legal mess. Like, that's serious stuff. But nonetheless, a gang member that snitches, you got some beef now. Here we are at number 4 with Cardi B vs Offset. For those who don't know, Offset is Cardi's husband and also the father of her daughter Culture. These two have had their fair share of feuds, and we only know because most of them made headlines. It all started when Tekashi 69's girlfriend Jade made claims that Offset was DMing her things like, "Miss you." She even screen recorded her DMs to show it, but Offset said that his account was hacked and stuck to his defense that he never cheated on Cardi. Turns out he actually did cheat on her, which she found out about. Cardi keeps her relationship issues off Instagram live rants, but we can imagine the feud those two had when she found out that he cheated on her. However, this feud does come with a happy ending because she chose to stay and work on their marriage. During an interview, she said, "When me and my husband got into our issues, you know, he cheated and everything, I decided to stay with him, and a lot of women felt disappointed in me. Everybody has issues. I believe in forgiveness. I prayed on it. Me and my husband, we prayed on it." So I gotta give her credit for being open and honest about her decision. I mean, it's your life, girl. I'm personally just proud of her for not hopping on one of those Instagram lives about her personal life like that. In the 3rd spot is Cardi B vs the famous reporter Jelena Solano. Cardi B decided to spend a day off at a spa in New York with her parents and her baby daughter. That is where she was approached by the Univision reporter who tried to get an interview with Cardi and her dad. Video footage of the altercation was leaked online and showed Cardi calling her the B word and said that she doesn't know how to do her job. She later went on Instagram Live, of course, and exploded, saying that Jelena and her camera crew were basically stalking her that day and approached her out of nowhere without any warning to have her do a live interview on the show. In her rant, she said, "I love the show, but the way you work, you lady are not professional. I'm literally getting out of my car, the door is not even closed, and you see that I'm with my daughter and I'm with my dad, and you put a camera. I turn around and there's a camera and a mic in my mouth. You don't know how to do your job." I would personally like to point out that she's not even on the sidewalk when they approach her with the mic and camera. Like, she's literally standing on the side of the road with her dad while her mom and daughter are inside of the spa already. Filling in the number 2 spot is Cardi B vs Baddie G and Jade. Cardi was accused of attacking them at a strip club, and since the altercation they have both been banned from working there. The two sisters, aged 21 and 23, were bartending at a Angeles strip club when Cardi allegedly threw a hookah pipe and drinking glasses at them. They claim that she did it because she thought one of them had slept with her husband Offset. The girls immediately reported the incident to the police, and Cardi was charged with 2 misdemeanors and reckless endangerment. After the incident, of course, Cardi went off online and was threatening to put her hands on them, but it was ultimately settled in court. Cardi's bail was set at $2,500, but the judge released her without bail because he didn't consider her to be a flight risk. I mean, obviously, we're gonna know where you are, girl. However, he did issue an order of protection for the two girls that forbids Cardi having any contact with them, which includes threats or comments on social media. So baby girl needs to keep them out of her mouth in those Instagram live rants. She's gonna end up in jail. Alright guys, I know you've been waiting for this one, and the #1 spot is Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. One of the most epic showdowns of all time. The two rappers have a long history together, and it would take me an hour to fully dissect it, but I will address the feud that led to Cardi throwing her shoe yet again. It all went down in September 2018 when the two of them showed up to the same event at New York Fashion Week. Video footage leaked online immediately, which showed Cardi lunging at Nicki before security quickly broke it up.
That's your priceless! Hold tight, I got it. Hold tight. Hold tight.
Lo and behold, Cardi takes off one of her heels and throws it at her since she's unable to reach her. They both went online after, voicing their side of the story. There's a lot of he said, she said, but Cardi's big post said that Nicki was making remarks about her daughter and her abilities about her as a mother, and that is really what set her off that night. Since then, the two of them have apparently squashed their beef, but we will see how long Cardi keeps those heels on for.
Starting off at number 10, we have Nicki Minaj. The most obvious person that hates Cardi is Nicki Minaj, because at this point they are the two top women in rap, with Nicki being at the top for decades, while Cardi recently exploded onto the scene with massive success. The two have not always publicly feuded, even though there have always been rumors that they didn't like each other. It seemed like they were back on good terms when they both collabed in the Migos song Motorsport. But then shortly after New York Fashion Week, we got to see the truth of the matter, when Cardi straight up came for Nicki, lunged at her and threw her shoe at her face. A person that was there told E! News, quote, "It was so fast. I heard someone screaming. Everyone recognized Cardi's voice. People either got out of the way or took out their phones and started filming. Nicki was surrounded by a bunch of guards and barely even looked at her. Next thing you know, shoes were flying and Cardi was on her way out. With a massive bump on her head, by the way, I might add. Probably the most iconic picture literally ever. But the night did not end well for Cardi, as she left with a huge bump on her head courtesy of Nicki's security. As a response to the outburst, Cardi posted on Instagram that Nicki talked trash about her mothering, and that's why she did it. Nicki aired her side of things on her Queen radio show, saying the scuffle was, quote, so mortifying and so humiliating to go through, adding she would never talk about someone's child or parenting. Then there was another incident where Nicki allegedly leaked Cardi's number, which Cardi obviously did not take well. But a day later, Nicki seemingly called a truce on Twitter, saying she, quote, won't be discussing this nonsense anymore, and encouraging people to talk about the positive, and Cardi agreed. So they might potentially be cool now, but after this everyone knew just how physical Cardi could get when she was mad.
In at number 9, Ra Ali. Due to Ra Ali being friends with Nicki Minaj, it's no wonder that she too has tried to warn people about Cardi B. Although even enemies by association sometimes have their own gripes with that person. Back in 2018 though, Ra and Cardi got involved in a physical altercation, the one that Mackenzie was talking about, that took place at the New York Fashion Week, with Cardi B leaving it with a visible bruising on her face. Both Ra Ali and Nicki Minaj would leave without a scratch though. A short time later, Ali called out Cardi B during an interview and said, "I don't knock nobody's come up, but don't try me. I got 1 in the chamber, 14 in the clip. This was a warning shot. I will release receipts and destroy you, Cardi. Try me. So instead of writing me essays on Instagram, find yourself a pen and paper and write your own raps." Woo! She then went on to call her mentally incapacitated.
And at number 8, Azealia Banks. After the whole New York Fashion Week scuffle, the rap world started to divide pretty firmly on two sides of the battle, either Team Nicki or Team Cardi, basically like Johnny mentioned before. And Azealia very firmly took Team Nicki. But a lot of people didn't think this was necessarily because she supported Nicki, but because she just hated Cardi so much, and already had been in feuds with her in the past. When speaking about the feud, she said about Cardi, quote, "She doesn't understand the rules of black female etiquette. She doesn't understand that black women in 2018, we fight with our words, not with our hands." Then continuing on that Cardi is, quote, stupid and ghetto, and that she should be kicked out of the black community. Then speaking about race again, Azealia called out Cardi for only speaking about her black heritage when it's convenient for her, even calling her the, quote, poor man's Nicki Minaj. Adding in the interview, quote, 2 years ago the conversation surrounding black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high. We were really discussing our power amongst ourselves. Beyonce came out with Lemonade, and there was just really intelligent conversation going on nationally. And then everything just kind of changed, and then it was like Cardi B. So clearly Azealia is not a fan whatsoever.
In at number 7, Tomi Lahren. When President Trump decided to shut down the government in 2018 to force Congress into paying for his border wall with Mexico, many celebrities spoke out against him. Although one defender was conservative commentator Tomi Lahren, who wasn't happy with what Cardi B had to say about the matter. In a tweet, Tomi mocked Cardi B and said, "Looks like Cardi B is the latest genius political mind to endorse the Democrats. Ha, keep it up, guys." In response, Cardi said, "Leave me alone, I will dog walk you," which basically means she'll beat her up somewhere. And instead of backing off though, Tommy doubled down with her comments and said in response, "I'm sure you would, still doesn't make your political rambling any less moronic." Now, I don't like Tomi Lahren at all, but politics is her field, whereas Cardi B didn't exactly know what she was talking about, and this became evident when she started tweeting about her tax dollars going to pay for people's insurance.
And at number 6, The Shade Room. So if you guys don't know of The Shade Room, it's a popular Instagram account that shades celebrities and talks about their drama. But Cardi made it very clear that she does not like when blogs talk badly about her or her friends, when she publicly called out the owner of The Shade Room in a long ranty video. After they posted about Offset getting charged with gun possession, she ranted that they only write negative news, saying that since the owner of the blog is not allowed to post about Cardi, they instead post about all the people that she's close with, trying to bring hate their way. Adding that she doesn't need them to only post positive stuff about her, but they should cover some good and some bad to keep it fair. And the most shocking thing about this rant to me was that The Shade Room is not able to post about Cardi, which clearly shows that she cannot take criticism. And the fact that she needs to put these blogs on blast when they speak negatively about tons of other celebs too, just shows that she thinks everything's about her.
In at number 5, Asian Doll. Music is subjective, and so obviously people will have different opinions on who their favorite artists are. However, when Cardi B released a list of her up-and-coming favorite female rappers, she really angered a few people left off that list. Cardi posted the list to Twitter in August of 2018 and said, "New female rap artists on my list, City Girls, Cupcake, Sweetie." Now, initially Cardi B was criticized for creating a list at all. A lot of people felt like co-signing new artists typically comes from those who have been in the industry for decades, but one of the main people that got really upset and tried to warn us about Cardi B was fellow female rapper Asian Doll. In response to Cardi's list, she wrote, "I don't need no cosigns, I got co-signed by 2 of the biggest artists in hip-hop, now it's time for me to just do my thing and go hard."
And at number 4, Naomi Campbell. Naomi was another person that took Nicki's side after the Fashion Week blowout, because obviously Naomi was unimpressed that Cardi made a mockery out of the fashion event. When talking about the night with Andy Cohen, Campbell said it was very disappointing to see, regardless of whatever reason Cardi had for starting the fight, saying, quote, "I was disappointed. I don't want to see women of color fight. I don't want to see women fight, period. Not there. That's it. It's all music. There's no division of music. Music's for everybody. There's no discrimination, so I felt very disappointed." Yikes. And we know that Naomi can have quite a temper herself, so for her to say that means she was really incredibly disappointed.
In at number 3, Kia. Rapper Kia, who is best known for her one-hit wonder from 2002 called My Neck, My Back, has also had her fair share of issues with Cardi B. In 2017, during a segment on her web series called The Queen's Court, she apparently had viewed a video of Cardi that made her lose all respect for the rap star. Although she didn't reference what exactly the video was, music blog Hip Hop Lately quotes her as saying, "She looks like the ring in the tub after 10 people done bathed in it. Y'all know how the ring around the tub looks when everybody in your family bathed in it and nobody decided to wash it out and they keep jumping in it. That's how she looked in that video." Apparently the comments came shortly after hackers had released a video of Cardi in the nude from her husband Offset's iCloud account. Although Kia doesn't exactly have the same star power that she once did, so I really doubt that Cardi B is losing any sleep over those comments.
And at number 2, Asia Davies. Before Cardi was a mainstream name, known as a rapper around the world, she was a reality star on Love and Hip Hop New York, where she also got a reputation for being hot-headed and violent, even throwing a shoe at Asia in the reunion episode. That was all because Cardi was getting a little too close to Asia's boyfriend, Swift, and when Cardi was on Swift's phone one day, she saw that he was getting messages from Asia, talking badly about Cardi. It's also worth noting that Cardi didn't know that he was in a relationship at that time. Before the reunion, the girls had a brief confrontation where they got into a physical fight, which obviously came to a head once again at the reunion when Cardi threw her shoe. So I guess we all could have predicted that shoe throw would happen, once again.
Last but certainly not least, coming in on our number 1 spot, Funkmaster Flex. Funkmaster Flex is an American DJ, rapper, record producer, and host of New York City's Hot 97 radio. And if there's one thing he's famous for though, it's his hatred for rappers who don't write their own lyrics. He even infamously threw shade at Cardi B's lyrical credibility on Instagram Live in April of 2018. In the IG Live, Funk Flex explains that Cardi's Bodak Yellow was written by a ghostwriter. He goes on to say, "For you Cardi fans, I don't care what her opinion is about anything when you don't write your own shit. I don't care, I don't. Cardi's consistently getting somebody else to write her shit." He then went on to say, "I can't stand rappers who don't write they shit. What did we learn today, boys and girls? Write your own shit. And when your shit gets funny, don't go on the gram and turn your comments off, and don't fire your management as soon as you get to the right place." That was a lot of beeping, and I'm sorry. Although to be fair, I don't believe that it has been proven that Cardi B has ghostwriters, but at the same time, I also wouldn't say that it's impossible.